recommend staying together for the children. What I do recommend though is working it out so your children can be better for it.
Right.
So committing to that relationship, as long as it's not abusive, as long as it's not
Right.
one of those things that's gonna break you down emotionally or
Right.
mentally.
Right.
So just dedicate yourself to the fix. I mean, you dedicated yourself to a child,
Correct.
so why not
Yeah.
dedicate to the fix? And if it don't work, like you say, okay, I've given every effort.
Right.
Right.
And this person, they not willing to grow with me, okay. So let's disconnect, but don't give up on the relationship behind that.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That was deep.
That's tough.
Yeah, I like that.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah. What's up?
Let's say, okay, you having a disagreement with your wife.
Mm-hmm.
You got a strong point. She got a strong point.
Mm-hmm.
How do you come to an understanding on which one we gonna do, or how do you compromise on a situation like that? You know, how do you
Yeah.
You feel
I see exactly where you're going, man. And I had this conversation often, man, because often times there's a push and pull between a man and a woman.
Right.
Like there was this whole movement about being an independent woman and all of that stuff. So
Me too.
now,
Yeah.
right. So there's a button head between the women and the man, absolutely. But I don't like the word compromise because it has a negative connotation behind it.
Okay.
So I like words that make us feel better about the work that we got to do.
Okay.
So I choose win-win.
Win-win. Okay.
Right.
Okay, I like that.
Right. So
like
when
this.
you
Write that down.
Yeah, I got you.
Right. So when you're
you
having that conversation with your wife or with your husband, okay, let's talk about a win-win. How do we both win in this
I
situation?
like.
Because what happens in a compromise is this: like in your mind, it's like, okay, I'm gonna let her win this time. Next time.
Right.
That's true.
You know, that's what we get into. But when you're thinking win-win, nobody gets the short end of the stick, and we can have a real conversation about how we both get to what we want.
Gotcha.
That's a good one.
So how do we get men to be more open during communication?
Oh, please say.
Because a lot of men,
Please tell.
yeah, because a lot of men they
Shut down.
Yeah, man, a lot of us, man, it's tough, man, because we were taught to tuck all them emotions in,
Right,
man.
talk,
Put that
right,
up, partner.
exactly.
You're supposed to be tough, man.
Right.
Men don't do this, men
Right.
don't do that, men don't cry.
Yeah.
Men don't show softness, that type of stuff.
That's a lie,
man.
though.
Absolutely.
That's a lie.
See, we get by ourselves and we feeling the kind of way.
Feeling that pain.
Right,
true.
man. We end up being like my man and boys in the hood. We fighting in the air behind closed doors. You know what I mean? so it's a real thing. You know what I mean? But we feel a certain way, and that's the truth. So we get a lot of people overreacting, especially men, because we're not dealing with our emotional side.
Right.
Now, a man has testosterone and estrogen. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So you suppress a part of yourself when you don't acknowledge that you got an emotional side too.
Right.
So the way that we get to that is acknowledging it first. But when we take a look in the mirror and we start to know who we are, we can be comfortable with what we are, what we feel, and all of that. And then you can get somebody on your team that's willing to recognize that if you're not just trying to play tough all the time.
You'll know somebody.
Right. If you decide to be who you really are, then you can get that woman to say, you know what, man, I love this man because he has something about him that I can connect with, and that's that softer side, that's that estrogen. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we built like that. We just got to tell ourselves the truth, and then we can get somebody on the other side of us that recognize their beauty and that'll ride with us, man. That's what me and my wife got.
I like that.
So basically saying that's coming from not having that father figure. Is that
right? That's a part of it. That's a part of it. And for some of us, having that father figure is not necessarily a good thing. They teach us some of the bad habits.
correct?
True.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
If they punch you in the chest, man, what you crying for?
Right.
Hey, man, what you,
That's true.
hey man, suck that up.
Right.
Now
You
there's
know
a
what?
time for that.
That messed up. I was raised by my dad. I'm like that.
Right? Yeah.
See, I wasn't raised by my mama, so I'm
Right.
kind of. Hey, you don't care, do you, mom? I'm like,
Yeah.
child fall.
Like you said,
Right,
What you
man.
crying for?
I'm crying for what?
Yeah.
See what you did to me, daddy? Okay.
Yeah, see, there's a time and a place for that, but we gotta acknowledge both. Right? So we can't always say, okay, tuck them feelings in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because now we lying to ourselves and we trying to not acknowledge the fact that we have feelings. So we sweep them underneath the rug. And before you know it, we got a mound underneath the rug trying to act like it ain't there.
Right.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, my problem is this. I don't mind communicating but I come off as blunt.
No,
in my
that's
communication.
that's not the word.
So how do I
Cutthroat.
He said blunts.
how
Cutthroat
do I
raw.
finesse that? I need to learn how to finesse that so I don't make my woman feel a certain type of way. You see what I'm
Right,
saying?
no
But
doubt.
all I know is say it how I feel.
Right,
So
right.
I need to take time and just consider my words.
Yeah, bro, you gotta process it, man. Hey, cause you gotta understand,
So
man.
please help him.
Words are vibration.
I got you.
Words are vibration, so they gonna come back to see you.
Yeah.
So one of my OGs taught me this, man. Listen, you can win a verbal fight with your woman, but you're not gonna win the emotional.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So that's what we gotta consider. Like if you love your woman, all you gotta do is decide to rap whatever you decide to say. You just gotta rap it in love.
Gotcha.
Like sometimes it's taking a moment.
Right.
Because the first thing that's on your mind is an emotional reaction.
Right.
Then that comes out in words. So sometimes you got to take that breath, like,
And think about it.
I really want to cuss her
Yeah.
out. I really want.
Right.
I really want to talk about the naps in the back of her head. But you know what?
Right.
You know, I'm gonna pull back on that.
Right.
Right.
Because it ain't gonna help me in the long run. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
So we just got to think about it. We got to sit on it for a little bit
Just be
longer than the
considerate.
initial reaction. Absolutely.
So what's worse, being raw or not communicating?
Oh man, being raw. Being raw. Because here's the thing.
Wait a minute,
Right.
I really can't. Give me raw.
Right?
Well,
See, here's the thing. The difference between the two is this.
Yeah, tell me.
So if you come out raw,
You can't take it back.
right, you can't pull it
But
back.
you said what you meant.
Right. I
Still.
said what I meant. See, here's the thing. See, there's a rule when it comes to communication. You can say anything that you want to say. It's a matter of how you say it.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. So if I don't say anything, you can't use anything against me except for my silence. It's almost like the law.
Right.
But that's
Right.
words. You know, I think there's words. I
Right.
can't stand. Don't communicate. I can't stand.
Right.
it.
See, eventually
Now I
we
feel like
do.
you don't care.
Right. So let me break down communication.
Yeah.
Majority of communication is nonverbal. Right. So communication happens in 3 parts.
Okay.
Right. So 2 parts, silence.
Right.
Right. The last part is what you say. So
Right.
the facial expressions, the energy, and all of that type of stuff, we always communicate with each other.
Oh.
Now, our earliest ancestors didn't have language,
Right.
so it was more of an intuitive conversation.